Good afternoon. Alexa, time to stream. So, where are things at right now? Well, I am pushing my way through. Oddly enough, I stated on my thing that I need to do the SimEngine. But ultimately, I don't know if that is really what I put on my... I think ultimately I was supposed to go with the game plan and play generation. But here's the thing. The simulation is the heart of this thing, right? I mean, really, the simulation is what I want to call that. Everything we do is based on the simulation. And the simulation's got to take center stage. Everything I'm going to do, all the functionality I want to implement is all about the simulation of the game itself. Now, yeah, I gotta do stuff like simulate the season and do all kinds of other stuff, and that'll just be calls and multiple calls and whatever the heck I'm doing with the simulator. But ultimately, it's going to be interesting because I don't know how simulations are done by other companies, by other games. I feel like there are a lot of randomizing. And I say this because a simulation of an actual game has to go through the motions. It has to go through the motions. It has to execute every player, every action, every tackle, everything. Now, yeah, a computer can do it pretty fast. I mean, might take 3 to 8 seconds in real life, but for a computer, probably taking a second or two per play, But still, it's a lot of bits and parts. It's got to process every interaction. And let's say a play takes 2 seconds, but you've got 120 seconds. That's 2 minutes a game. Now, if you can asynchronously execute all of those, then maybe it's not so bad. A couple of minutes to simulate, but you've got to simulate through all the games, and you can't do them asynchronously or synchronously. You have to do them asynchronously. So I don't know how they're doing it. I feel like though a lot of them are really fast. They either have really good engines or they're not simulating all the way through. Because I'm talking about simulating an entire game. None of this nonsense 2 minute quarter stuff. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay, so what game was it that... All right, look. This is a big game. Was it Big Game Football or something like that? And to me, it's one of those games that I think I like the way they simulate. And it does do, I believe, full games. You can kind of go a little faster. It's Big Win Football. But I'm pretty sure these do full games. Let me see. Let's share this quick. I've demoed this a number of times. I don't play it that often, to be honest. The last few times I played it was the times I demoed it. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I like a lot. I like the demo aspect of this game. Or not the demo aspect, but the play aspect, the simulation. Okay, so okay. So there are things I like. I like. I mean, it seems weird to say, but I like this form of animation mostly because I feel like it's lower resolution, lower complexity, so it's not going to put quite as much load on your game. I think it will fit the aesthetic. The aesthetic will probably be pretty okay. Oh, hold on. Dang, remember. Let's do this. You probably, I don't know if you know, if I've ever pointed this out to you, but I'm a Taco Bell guy. And, oops. And you basically, if you want to be, I don't know what the Tuesday drop is. Hurry, be among the first 50. Your final chance to attend. I don't want to see that. I don't care about that. Never mind. All right, back to this. It's probably already gone. And literally, it's like people are sitting there with the button, finger on the button. It's 50 across, I think, the country. So it's like, it's really, there was one that was 5. It was Super Bowl tickets. No, not Super Bowl tickets. National championship tickets. College national championship. 5 people. Crazy. Anyway. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to do a quick demo of this again. I like to take defensive ones. I don't know. But, what is this? Oh, that's just my players. So I'm going to have cards in my game, but it's not like these where they all have like values and they're going to just, better cards are better cards. There are better players, duh, but they're all balanced against each other. So there won't be like just some dude who's crazy better than everybody else. I mean, and they all have salary values, which means you have to balance your team according to what you want. So that's not an issue in my game. But okay, so I believe these are full quarters. Yeah, I don't care what. So I like the view opponent. I think that's a good thing. But I think that's something you can do before you do the sim. You kick off the sim. You've already planned. Yeah, see, it does a full time, 15 minutes. Now, without spending too much time on that, you can kind of see. I kind of like this animation. I don't know what they're using for their game engine, but it just feels pretty fluid to me. My guys might look a little different because they're not all going to be human. The field looks pretty decent. It's got a nice grassy texture to it, so I like that. I like the camera movement. I mean, they just did a really good job, I think, with the play simulation. Now, is side view the best? I think if you're a fan, it's a pretty good view, right? When a guy's taking off. Now this game uses these little card things to kind of tweak the game a little bit, change it. I guess it's kind of like setting your strategy. I don't know. I mean, it makes your guys play better, right, at those positions, I'd imagine. Oh, dude, am I going all the way? Dude, I'm gone, man. On a running play. Holy moly. I like that. So here's another thing you could expect from my game. See, even the fans, maybe that's what I need to do, show less fields. I guess I never really thought about that. Showing less fields would allow you to get a closer up view. I don't know why I always thought you wanted to see the whole field, but I guess it makes sense since you would see just what you want to see. That's going to be tricky though with the website version. Again, the camera's not going to move around as well on the web version. Tracking. Who got the ball? Oh, I did. Nice. My defense is kind of... Oh, he got away and then turned around and ran right into him. I know, I'm getting distracted by this. It's kind of fun to watch. See, this is what I think. I think... Oh, no. I think that's a fun thing about... I don't think it's bad watching simulations. I just think the simulation needs to be able to allow you to have interaction with it. Like here, I don't have any interaction with this. The best thing I can do is pause it or... but it's fun to kind of see what's going on. But like maybe what I'd like to do, which is what my game allows, I'll be able to interact with the players on the field some. Yep, they're kind of messing up my, even with my defensive strategy, it's not going so well. Oh, did I intercept it? Nice. We did just about kill the quarterback on that one. Oh, we're getting some stuttery. By the way, the stuttery is not my, is not the game. It's the Windows phone link that's showing it. It's actually a really smooth game. I don't know why it gets bad. I think it's because it's using Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's a better link if I was to use Bluetooth. It might be better. But you're really just getting the secondary feed, right? It's getting it from the game gets it and sends it back to the Bluetooth. Dude. Am I punny?
That's it for 5.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm curious how it determines what happens on the field.
2 minutes remaining in the half.
Does it show you anywhere? 18 player.
Timeout is called.
Let's call timeout. Oh, you know, that's another thing. I don't have timeout rules to find on my game plan. I should probably make timeout rules. I should put that down as a thing. You know, like, what is your game plan? When do you call timeouts? How aggressive are you with timeouts?
Timeout is called. Pass incomplete. That's a big first down.
Oh, we're in the third quarter. Oh, that was the end of half. My ball. He's got the big boot and injury-free and no escape. I don't know what that is, but
Gain on the play.
no escape must be a tackle-y thing. Or maybe... So I'm playing a high defensive strategy and he's playing an offensive one.
First down.
Come on, team, score again. I'm watching football. I tell you, I like football. I like football games. Typically, this one is just kind of fun to watch. Like I said, this is how a simulation should be, in the sense that it should be something you want to,
Pass incomplete.
something you enjoy interacting with.
Incomplete pass on the play.
Is that it? Punt. Okay.
Good for 7 yards.
I don't think this is a guarantee, man. I started off big with that running play, but I can't. Who got it? Me again. Nice. I'm getting some turnovers, man.
Pickup of 8.
This game also doesn't do leagues or anything. I think it's just kind of playing. I'm in scoring position. Field goal range, anyway. Oh, look at that. Just right up the middle, man. Big old hole. Touchdown, me. Okay.
Point after is good.
I think based on my defense's current performance, this game's going to be a lock. But again, my game's going to be... I'm hoping to be able to have graphics looking like this. This is what I want. Not the same, obviously. My character's going to look different. My surroundings will look different. I just want this smoothness, and it's obviously mine is going to be doing completely different behind the scenes logic, and you're going to have more interaction with it on the screen. More you can do during the game. Fan stuff, you know, tap your dude, give him the high fives. You know, do things that actually affect the game. I'm even thinking, you know what'd be cool? Oh, you know what'd be cool?
6 yards.
Put up a mic interaction. So when you cheer or scream or something at the field, it's like there's some kind of a response. Dude, another big play. I get some big plays. Not all of them end up in scores, but I do move the ball.
Pass incomplete. End of quarter.
1 quarter left, and I'm up 14-0 on a highly defensive game on my part. Uh-oh. There we go again. Reed Palin. Untouched. All the way to the end zone. That guy ain't catching him. Man, I am wreaking havoc on this team. I don't know what their situation is, but I'm beating the poodly out of them. I'll have to get to work here now. But,
Point after is good.
again, this is kind of what I'm going for. Here's the problem I'm having in my mind. Aesthetically speaking, this does not fit the theme of my game. It's a very nice field, great for modern day football. But since my game is based on a fantasy environment,
Good for 10 yards.
I really don't know how. I got to figure out how to make the field feel like it's set in the world at which I'm creating it. So it's going to look rougher, a little bit more, you know, like it's a field you play on if you were out, if you didn't have technologically advanced lawnmowers stuff. I want like the numbers to look, you know, more painted on, a little bit more ragged, but yet readable. You know, they all got to be there. I mean, I know they're going with the. I like the little yellow lines with the blue like LED appearance.
Pickup of 8.
Hey, look at me, man! I'm driving again. I think this game's coming to an end, man. This is a route. My guy's got this interesting draw thing where he goes back, spins around, and takes off running. Dick North is... Oh, man. He's having a good day. I got beat the last time. I don't even know what my record is. I don't think it even matters. Like I said, I don't think it tracks your record.
Out on the play.
You just play games. That's all it is. It's not like a season or league. Which they really should. I think they should put some kind of season or league in there. It's close enough to get a field goal out of this.
Field goal is good.
That is a really awkward field goal kicking view. It's like you can't tell if you made it or nothing. It's just a weird diagonal look.
Good for 7 yards.
Dude, you got 1 minute to score, to even get on the board.
Timeout is called.
I don't even know if this game considers It does call timeouts, but oh, so
Timeout on the play.
does he try for a bomb at all? Does he actually throw far? Look at that. Oh, he is waiting.
Quarterback sack.
He couldn't find anyone to throw to. Oh, that was a destroyer, man. 24-0. And one of the things too, when you sim a game, you will always play. Okay, here's one of the things I plan to do. Am I really only 1-1-0? I thought I played at least 2 games, 3 games. Huh. Wait, what? Oh, oh, okay, I played 7 games. I'm 3-4? Nah, really? I don't remember losing that many times. Weird. But anyway, so I don't know how the league works or anything like that, but you will be playing all your games against other players if I can manage it. Any random game you grab will play against another player, except your league games, which you could be in a league with, AI opponents, just because I can't fill a league with players all the time. Maybe if there's enough people, but the AI opponents are an option. But when you play a quick game, you'll go up against other players' teams, and you will get results. In other words, when you come back, it'll say quick game results, and they'll be like challenges. You got challenged this many times, you had this record. You got challenged that many times, you had that record. So you can kind of see how your games went, because you never know how often your team will come up. But I've always wanted to know when I'm playing how my stuff is performing. Even if somebody just randomly gets to play against my deck, or my team in this case, how is it going? How is my team performing? So I don't know. Like I said, it does keep track a little bit of stuff. I assume this is all true. I know I certainly had a lot of turnovers. They turned over the ball 4 times. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2 interceptions at least, 2 fumbles. A couple of sacks, some first downs. Decent passing yards. No, I got decent rushing yards. He had decent passing yards. I beat him by a lot. I mean, this was a dominating game. Oops. But anyway, there you go. That's kind of like I said. I don't truly know how a lot of this works, because there's not a lot to this game. You got your offense, your defense. It says there's league games. I don't even know what league you're in. I don't know what the events are. What is this? Oh, so you have to have coins to play in whatever these things are, but they're like little tournaments, I guess. I don't know what big bucks are. I don't know what. 950 coins, 100 big bucks. Oh, is that what you win? I don't know what that is. Do I just say... What is a new ball? Anyway, that's it. I gotta get to work, but now you know what the what this game is all about. All right, so anyway, on to the task. All right, so you can see here I started sketching out I'm trying to map out in my head how I want, well, it's not just in my head, I'm trying to map it out on paper, how the simulator is going to function. Okay, so I got a lot of things to consider, right? I've got to have the front end, which could be any number of things. You could have 2 front ends, you could have 3 front ends, possibly 4 front ends, all running off the same game. And you say, how does that work? Well, I'm thinking about having special event kind of setups. I just wanted to be able to function off of multiple front ends. Because I'm thinking about having special events or special kinds of games where you can team up with somebody and play your offense and someone else's defense against someone else's offense and defense. So you have like your own scrimmage setups. Kind of a 2-on-2 kind of deal. Now, if you're both playing with your own, and each person could be playing with their own front end, Android, even the web. The web, like I said, the UI is going to be more limited. I don't know what it'll do and how effective it'll be, how well it'll display, but it can be done, and it will get the same results back. It would just, I don't know how the simulation's going to play out. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I don't know what you can do, graphically speaking, on a web simulation like that. But ideally, of course, you'll be able to turn this off. Okay, so anyway, you'll have a fairly good idea of what each play is going to be doing. It might do something a little bit more generic in its outplay, maybe text, maybe just the ball moving. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know what I can do, and I will definitely work on that at a point. But here's the deal: the front end is going to have to manage what is coming in, right? So there's going to have to be a call that like an expectation of feedback, I guess, from the run game simulator. So I'm not totally sure on how all that's going to work, but the front ends will say, okay, start or ready or whatever they do to connect to the run game. And then run game goes, okay, well, we got 4 bits, 4 parts taking off. And it's just going to look at, well, who's offense, who's defense. And it's going to feed to each person. Like you'll sign in for offense or for defense. And you'll sign in for the Team A's offense and Team A's defense and so on and so forth. And you'll be able to insert your play. So I got to have my run game be able to wait for each person to send in their play calls, right? Or if it's just a simulation, it'll just take from that person's simulation. So we need to have things like how many players are involved. But again, I've got to think, how do you connect all the players to the game? I'm probably getting ahead of myself, huh? Multiplayer aspects. I could be getting ahead of myself on that. I have to figure out a way to create the game, I think, in the database, and then have the I have to figure out how to get the game into the database, and then somehow it's like as a game is created, we have to create an instance, but the instance can't be stored in memory. It has to be stored physically. This tells me, because every single play, first of all, we got to keep track of every single play's stats, because the players still get their stats. Yeah, see, this is why this is tough. I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a game design that puts the table in the the game in the database. I think that's kind of my only real option, is I have to put the game in the database. So I finally got some. I want to turn on my other monitor here. I'm gonna see if I can keep it from overheating. I finally got some thermal tape to allow me to put my fan on the computer. And I want to reconnect my monitor. Now, keep in mind, I'm still getting disconnected every now and then. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Just lots of sadness involved there. I don't even have my camera on, do I? I gotta put that back on. There you go. Now you can see my good-looking mug. You're like, yeah, good-looking mug. So I was talking to my buddy here, co-pilot. And I was trying to decipher the best approach to doing my front end and back end, because the run game process has to call multiple parts. But I'm trying to decide how I want to run that. Okay, so run game, if I put the run game process on the front end, it's going to make it really hard with multiple players, right? Because if the run game has to be able to get and feed in all the player information, who's running the game, right? I mean, the run game process has to call the plays, the coaches, it has to get back all the plays that are selected. It has to execute the play. Now, the play is a different process, but you only execute the play once. You're just giving it the information it needs. You're going to have an offense and a defense every time. Just who you're getting it from. So, but I'm thinking the run game process might have to go on the back end, simply because who's going to be the controller? If you don't put it on the back end where all the front ends can attach, then you can't process it. But my problem becomes man, I'm really struggling. It's no kidding. You're like, no kidding. I'm really struggling with the process flow. Because if we have the front end, the run game process is on the back end. I think the run game process has to be on the back end. I'm just trying to decide how do we get when you're interacting, like say the players are choosing their own plays. That's what I'm concerned about. how do we manage the coaches? I don't know. I can provide all the information back for a play result. But I'm trying, how do we interact the coach? That's going to be the big trick. How do we interact the coach? Now, with a full sim, not a big deal, because that's just, I'm going to provide the information, display the information, and just keep moving. But when you're running the game and you're simulating, I think the game is going to have to attach the coach or the playbook. And basically the coach I think ultimately I got to figure out a way to allow the coach to be taken over. The coach part get taken over. Man, I don't know. That was stupid. I had the game running in the background, and it was 7-7 with 20 seconds left, and my team fumbled it, and they kicked a field goal because I was on my own side of the field. I won the game. You suck, people. All right, I'm turning it off. It's going away because it's distracting me. I was thought I could let this run in the background. It won't bother me at all, but nope. All right, let's turn that nonsense off, shall we? All right. Solutions. I think I have to, I'm going to go with Sim first. And I think ultimately I'm going to have to plug in for but I just got to keep in mind the possibility that I have to eventually enable coaching information. What I might do is I'll call the coach and have the coach I'm just thinking of how all these things are drawn up together, right? So you've got a coaching component, you've got the game run simulation, but here's the deal. If we have coaches, say we got multiple players, more than just one who's just simulating. But one player is simulating, he's not doing any coaching. He just says, okay, I'm running the game with all of my game plan in place, and it goes out and it can execute, and everything runs in the back end. And then it provides the results and the visuals, and then the UI will lay out what plays were chosen from, what play was selected, and the results of the play as it's executed, and the execution of the play. And then they update the game state. So all that stuff happens kind of on the back end, just providing you with the information. However, and it should be ready, there should be other things happening, like, you know, trying to interact with or trying to have some kind of an effect with the front end. But I'll work on that stuff later, because I can maybe have some other calls and things to other services. But the coach is where I'm getting hung up. Okay, so the coach is the play chooser, the caller, the one that's going to deal with the playbook and get all the information back. But if the player decides that they want to coach, that means, as in they're going to select the plays. That means I need to provide a means to connecting them to the coaching engine. I think as a coaching service, I think what's going to happen is if they choose to be a coach, it'll open a connection to the coaching service. And then when the game starts, it'll open a connection to the coaching services, and then the service will will get the information, send it back to the user through the coaching service. But see, I'm trying to decide, well, is that the best way then? Should I not even go through? Should I always have the coaching service attached? The only difference is if it's simulated and not controlled, it'll just pass that information back up to the main. Oh God. Or to the UI, and the UI will in turn. What will the UI do in turn? So that would mean. I'm so struggling with this. Why did my monitor here not come on? Am I not hitting the keep when this comes up? Am I like not saying keep changes? Let's do it this time. All right, so let's turn this on here. Keep an eye on how hot my machine's getting. This is, I wrote to Microsoft and complained. Every time I freaking load up this thing, I get an advertisement. What's new? What's new? What's new? It's the same freaking thing every time. Just go away. And it's like your options are learn more or maybe later. It's like, no, I don't need to know about this again option. Go get out of my face. Stop bugging me. All right, let's, I'm going to add OneNote. So we'll do a screen capture. Is it screen capture? No. Display capture. Oh, window capture. That's the one I want. You're going to have to, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to forgive the terrible handwriting. Because simply put, I'm writing forward with a pen on a glassy screen, which is just, there's only so much you can do. So you can see here I kind of came up with, but I'm wondering if let's try another page here. I don't know if I'm going to delete that one just yet, but what did I do? Oops. So, all right, so we have the front end. Let's go with the thought that I have one front end. Okay. One front end. It's just a person simulating their own game. But they have the option of, so we got the front end. Now the front end is going to start a simulation. So he starts a simulation, which is run game. But I think there's going to be a UI run game. And the UI run game is going to do a little bit more. So when you select run game, you have to give it the options of, like, say, auto, or how about all right, how about this? Use coach. And that's a bit, right? A Boolean. So use coach, true or false. And then in here, so because we can't really connect another service through the run game, we would need to connect. So the run game would go, oh, all right, so you pick your options on the front end, and then it goes, okay, run game, use coach. Now, what this will be is it'll be a component within the front end, be it Unity or whatever UI I'm using, my React web application. Now, within here, this is a front end. Front end run game, but in here, this process is something like use coach, connects to the coaching component. So we'll call get play. We'll call it get play. Get play. And in here it'll have the game state. And this is a service in the coaching component. Backend, coach, service. Stop it. Backend coach service. I don't know how to spell. And then this will make a call to get the play based on game state. it'll make a call to my playbook service. Well, actually, it's going to look at the game plan first. Get, why is it because my finger's on there? Why is that? Get game plan. Games. Get game. All right. Get play selection. We'll call that. Get play selection. So here's the problem too, is like if you're doing the coaching, you also have to give the user the plays. So we also have the problem of I got to go to the playbook service. Because you're doing the coaching. Maybe you don't even use game plan. Use coach is probably not the best title, but the thought is that you'd be running your own coach. Because if really what it is you're going to go out, get this information. The run game process is going to go out and get the play selection if you're the coach, and pass it in to the run game process on the back end, which will then bypass the coaching step. But if you don't use a coach, you're not doing it, or you are doing a simulation, and every position, yeah, okay, I think I'm getting this. I think I'm seeing it now. So basically, this run game on the front end is going to have to do some stuff. I can't avoid doing a little bit of stuff on the front end. But what I'm thinking is all it's going to do is make the calls out to the services, get the values back, and pass it into the other services. Because it has to be an intermediary to allow for output on the screen. So I think I'm not totally, I guess I don't fully know right now what React does. Because if I can't have a component that's going to provide my output, how do I, in that case, the front end, the actual output, but I think the component can probably do that, right? This is where things start getting complicated, folks. This is where things are getting complicated. But it's got to work correctly. So, and it's going to come down to a little bit of what I can do technologically speaking. I mean, I'm planning, but I don't know what front end can do on React. I know what I'm going to do with the services, call them, but can I make the service... I want to make the front end as dumb as possible. The less I put on the front, the better. All it should be doing is rendering crap. That's all the front end should be doing. You know, you get the game state, throw the numbers up on the screen, show stuff. These are the plays that are being selected, show stuff. You click play selection, just send it back, and it gets the play results, and then the play results come back, and then it just displays play results. That's all it does. It's like it shouldn't be doing any math, any calculation, no time calculations, no nothing. Just because everything needs to be in sync for every team and every player, for example, for one thing. So you can't have your own clock running. You can't have your own anything running on the front end, because it's got to be the exact same information for everybody. So the idea is that when a clock is processing, maybe you're even ahead a play or 2 or 3 or whatever. I mean, you can do that for a sim. You can't really do that for play selection. But, I mean, the idea is that you pick a play and the clock is ticking until everybody picks their play. There's only 2 people picking plays, even if you're playing with 4 people, because you're either offense, defense. You know, you're only playing one. You're offense or defense. And if there's 4 people, one guy's and 2 of them are playing defense, well, if their team is not on only one of them is selecting every time, and only one of the offensive guys is selecting every time. So it's only 2 selections, and you've got, X amount of time to do it. And I probably will only give about 20 seconds to select your team play, because there's time for you got to have time for players to run back to the line, but beyond that, for realism, you only get so much time to pick. You don't get the full 30, 40 second nonsense. So it's like 20 seconds. You can pick your play and click. It's ready to go, right? The game's going to move on. So I have to get the right structure in place so that I'm not like programming and then reprogramming. I don't want to be refactoring at a later point. So the idea is to get my simulation logic in place, so that when I do something like SimGame here, it calls the, you can see there's only 2 things. There's the front page, which is the actual simulator thing. Simulator is the page with the football image, and then I have SimGame, which is all the stuff that goes on in the game. This is the everything else. But this is too much even. This has too much things. It's doing math. It's adding scores together. It's calculating stuff. This should essentially be replaced by an actual, by a lot less. Now, there's a certain amount of things that have to exist here. Like I do still plan to have the ability to have a game state, but I'll probably set the game state based on what's returned. Now, in here, you can see when I call run special teams play. I'm just going to call run play. A play is all that's going to execute. We have consult coach, which again could just be my method that's going to call the coaching component. In a simulated state, I could maybe I shouldn't have any back-end coaching processes. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should even have a back-end coaching process. The reason I'm saying that is because there's still going to be a lot of things where you're going to be interacting with the coach. You want to see it, want to display it, and the coach is going to go do his thing, and he's going to provide the info, and then you're going to take whatever the coach provided and you're going to send it through to the play execution. I think my idea of running the coach fully simulated in the back end might be a good idea for offline simulations, like other teams in the league. I'm telling you right now, so for anybody who's a football fan, I'm not really planning to offer silent sims. Sim game, just skip through the games. I think that's lame if you don't want to watch the game, or you don't want to have the game in play. You need to sim the game. I'm even going to have it be where, because for one, it's hard to sim against other players, but if you're just playing against their team, I suppose you can sim it. But I want there to be a reason to watch the game. I may even give achievements for people who watch games. Rewards for actually watching the game and interacting with the game. like achievements for cheering the game. And cheering, by the way, is going to have an effect. I'm going to have people who watch the game are going to get effects from the game as a result. Their players are going to do certain things. They're going to maybe play better in certain situations. They're going to get bonuses or boosts, or you can do stuff in the game while it's simulating. That's what's going to be available. I'm going to make it so that there is a reason to do that stuff. And it's not going to be automated because I want you to want to watch the game. So if you just sim a game, you're simulating without that stuff. I'm even thinking it's possible I may implement opponent automation. In other words, if you simulate a game, a quick play game against someone else, and you don't watch the game, their team will get some of the auto simulation, some of the simulated effects. So tough tootie, man. You don't want to watch the game? You can't. Even if it's just put it in the background and run it. That's what football is. Sometimes I've got it on the TV behind me and the game is going. And I'll just check back to see what the score is. If I hear something big happen, I'll turn and look. I don't always watch the games, but the game, if you're a football fan, dang nabbit, you have the game on in the background. And I can maybe see speeding it up a little bit. Simulations are going to go faster. Yeah, things are going to happen on the field, and you can maybe do a game that would normally take, an hour to run through. Maybe it only takes like that one. How long did that take? 10 minutes to simulate that game I was watching? I don't like click, you won. Click, you lost. Click, you won. I don't like it. It's stupid. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Dang it. Learn to love your game. Learn to appreciate what your guys are doing for you out there. There are actually some of those GM games. They will tell you if that all the other games are simmed. I mean, simmed like they're random generated. They don't run them, which is stupid. Because then, of course, all the stats are broken. And my thought is every player in the league gets to be affected by stuff. Every player, even the AI players. If they're having a good go, they're having motivational issues, they're having maybe they're on a streak and they're just hot, and all these different things can affect players. So if you trade for a player, maybe you get whatever their current state of existence is. And yeah, you can do stuff to help them. I mean, there'll be training and other things that can affect that stuff. But ultimately, I want to have effects that keep you engaged in the game itself, not just the minutia that results in a game. Man, it's already 3 o'clock. Can you believe that? And what have I done so far? Just plotting and planning. Clearing out my pocket here. Okay. So I think we are readjusting. It's interesting though that I'm trying to see how I can plug in my new functionality into this. I think I might just copy this. And then we'll call this because the layout, the way things are going onto the field, the way things are displaying, at least for the moment, because I'll fix that. I'll do more with that later, but I want to have the engine from the back end coming in. And that's what I'm working on right now. We'll call it Run game, I don't know. I like SimGame. Call it SimGame. I'm not sure why I don't have the, yeah, maybe because I'll be putting other stuff on there. I don't know. Sim. Well, we'll call it simulator. How about run simulator? Or how about run sim? Sure, run sim. All right. For all you people who like good names, we'll call it run simulator. Descriptive names, I mean. I really hate longer names, but it's all right. It's going to be the same basic thing, except now I need to come up with the... I'm going to do this. I think it has to work the same way, except I'm pulling out some functionality. Now, the run simulator obviously doesn't work yet. It's not being called by anything. But what I want to do is I'm going to take a lot of this junk. It's going to be a lot of it get eliminated, but I'm going to consult the coach. What I want to do is pass to the coach the game state. But the coach, all right, I'm going to have to go to PFFM web here, and I'm going to go to data. Got playbook data. Do I call back to the coach? Nah, I'm trying to keep all my data parts over here, things that are actually calling the database. We're going to go here and we're just going to call coach data. And we also have playbook data. Now, playbook data is going to be fetch formations, but also, this is for me when I'm building the playbook. But other things that this will do will be like const get play selection equals. Do I want it to be async? Sure. How about fetch? Because it seems to be, that's the name. Fetch play selection. Play selection? Play selections. Play selections. Probably be better, huh? Because we're going to have multiple plays in this. And then we'll do try. We'll go ahead and do the try catch. Playbook will be formations list. No, we need a selections list. Play selections list. Okay, so we're going to have a list of play selections, which will come back from the API auth. Yeah. So now, what does that mean? The coach will call the play selections, but he needs to I think I may have to have a component that's separate for the coach. So we'll have like a sim coach, coach sim, and player, or a sim coach and player coach. Because I think each coach will handle getting the plays differently. Because the sim coach is going to just get the place, it's going to provide the game state, or going to use the game state. I wonder if I should just pass the game state to the game plan. And then the game plan returns the valid play options. So I wonder if it should go coach data, game plan, then playbook. Playbook returns to the game plan. Because if I were to go have the coach consult the game plan, because he's going to provide a game state to the game. Logic says they should be interactive and self-sustaining. If you're not using the game plan, the coach might just provide play selections based on your game plan. We're gonna have the playbook will fetch play selections. That's how you're gonna get them. But you need to tell. I think the playbook doesn't know what plays you want. Only the game plan knows what plays you want. The game plan can. So I got to provide information back to the play selections to say which ones we want. Now there's going to be four play selections. But so the values that have to be passed back are preferred play, and then we have let's go up here. Preferred play type. Coaches play type. And Now, there's a lot of play types, by the way. It's not just run and pass. A lot. On offense, there could be run middle, run right, run left, sweep, draw. These are all things they're all run plays, but they're different. There's pitch, which is not quite a sweep. And then there's things like different kinds of passes. You got screen, you got ins, outs. They all have, what it is they all have a type that is preferred, or is the first choice of the play. Now with a run, you basically do what your first choice is. But with a pass, you might have an out that ends up being a fly, because they may have one guy who's going down the field and the quarterback chooses to throw to him. But his first choice will be to look for the whatever the first option is on the play. But I'm trying to decide what the fourth play is going to be. Because the fourth play type I don't know if there's going to be I think you only get those three options, and then it will pick the fourth option from one of those items. So a preferred play ID is not a sure thing. It's just got a high percentage. Preferred play type is not a sure thing. It's got a high percentage. Same thing with coach's play type. But all of them are considered as secondary and tertiary options. Whereas in the fourth play, if those aren't selected, they're also in there with a pretty high percentage chance to being selected in the fourth option. So you've got a good chance that your play ends up being selected. But it's still just percentage opportunities, right? So you may not always go for it on fourth down when you think you should. But I think in a lot of cases, it's going to be very high, like 60, 70%. And then if it's not selected, it could still be selected in any one of the other options. There's always going to be an option. So of the remaining, like say a preferred play type, if you've got a 60% chance on it and it doesn't get selected, preferred play ID, preferred play ID does not get selected. Preferred play type should be the same type, because that's how the game plan will be set up. We'll give that another 60-70% chance, but then the 60-70% chance of the play type, and then the coach's play type will give that another chance if it still wasn't selected. So you get a lot of chances that your play type, play ID, and your coach's play. Well, coach's play has the least chance because it's actually not considered in the first two options. I mean, I guess it could be. Yeah, maybe you're right. I think I do have that in there, but it's a lower percentage. So your settings are higher than the coach's settings, but his settings are higher than just standard anything play. I don't think you provide any information for the third one, but the logic is that it's going to return 4 plays. It's going to use those first 3 to adjust the percentages for the fourth play, but it's going to return the fourth option. Now, if you're running a fourth down, it might choose from standard play. Actually, I think it'll probably just choose a standard play. Like if you're doing fourth down, punt will probably show up there. It's just going to be in there as the standard play. What is going on this Saturday? I don't know what's going on this Saturday. I just got someone who's texting me asking if I'll be available this Saturday. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to have those items going back in the play selections. which have to come back. Wait a minute. Who's making this call though? I'm trying to determine, do I even want the place? Oh no, the play selections have to be returned. Yeah, okay, so we still need them. They still need to be returned. I'm just thinking, I was thinking for simulations you wouldn't use them. But you probably still need to get them regardless. Even if the coach is running the play, the auto sim. You got to get the plays, and then the coach picks from those 4 plays with a ranking percentage chance of getting each one of them as well. But he's picking from the 4. So he's going to try one of these items. So you've got a pretty good chance. And your preferred play type has got like a 40% chance even in that. So you're going to get it in there. The preferred play ID, it might even be more like that. It might be like 70% chance that he's going to run the preferred play ID. And then the play types take precedence over the other 2. And then there's still always a chance he just decides to punt. Because maybe he makes a bad decision. If you're losing and there's like ends up being a 5% chance that he punts, you're like, no, what are you punting for, you doofus McSquit? But it'll be in there as an option. Now, coaches may have a preferred play type of a punt, so you may have a punt in there already, but all right, so if I'm thinking it this way, that would mean we have the run game, which is basically now called Run Simulator. And it's not going to be called Use Coach, but Run Simulator needs to know if we are... Well, I guess it could be Use Coach, but I'm trying to decide. I think the simulator's going to have... I'm trying to... Here's the other question in my mind. And that is, if a person is coaching, do they have access to the whole playbook? Because
you don't have practice this Saturday, the 15th, right?
No.
Okay, because we're moving up your birthday thing to this Saturday.
It's like 2 weeks in it. That's like a long time in it.
Before. Well, it's early for your birthday, but Hallie's going to be gone, so that's why we're doing it.
Oh, Hallie's gone. I thought we were doing it on the Friday or 2 weeks.
Well, she's thinking about taking the train down to LA now and not taking her flight.
Oh. Oh, okay. So that was you who sent the text? Oh, I thought that was Alicia. Okay. I guess we're doing my birthday celebration on Saturday. My birthday's like forever away still. I guess it ain't that far away. What is today? Tuesday? Saturday would be... I guess it's only like 9 days early. It's still pretty early, but well. That's really soon. And my daughter's going to California and to go visit a friend, and I guess she's thinking she's gonna take a train. So obviously that'll take a lot longer. Guess we'll see how that goes. Oh, I went DoorDash today. Oh boy, what was that fun. $9 an hour for 2 hours. I only did 2 hours, but actually it was 2.5 because I actually stayed available for 2.5 hours. Just nothing came in during the last half hour. So yeah, I need to... Yeah, this is... Anyway. I wonder if there's a way to automate your hooks, your project flow some kind of a flow chart that looks at your code and creates a flow chart of how things are called. I wonder if there's such a thing. Is there a VS Code extension that can create a, I don't know, object flowchart of a project by reading all the calls? FlowMaker, FlowCraft, Oh, good. Tesla's coming up with a van. That's got to be. I mean, the truck is already ugly enough. Trucks are like, they manage to take something that generally is considered kind of cool. It's a truck, especially for a guy, right? And turn it ugly as snot. So you take something that's already ugly as snot, you try to give it to Tesla. Oh, gosh. Can only imagine. So I'll have to check these out because I think it'll help me as I start laying this out to come up with like a flow of how my objects are calling each other, and I think it'll be useful even in general. Okay, so I think I've got the idea of what I'm doing. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have this consult coach, which is a method. It's going to be part of, I don't even know where is the consult coach method at? Is it in the coaching object? Is there a go-to option in here? Get command open source action refactor format open changes. I guess there's not. I always wondered if there was like a go-to like there is in Visual Basic or in Visual Studio. But I guess not. Format. Explain, fix, all selection. Huh. Alright, so I think it's in my coaching thing. Consult coach. I have too many objects in here, by the way. I'm wondering if I should have like, if I'm treating them as separate services, they should probably not be in the same. I was thinking for layout purposes, I'd have some, but I'm not totally sure that's the right approach. It's a lot of objects being dedicated to the coach. Like, so when I go to the coach, we have the game plan and the playbook are available there. They are connected to the coaching page, but when we run a play, we consult the coach who's going to go out and get the I think it's just laying this out in my head, man. Laying this out in my head. So consult coach. What do we want to do? We're going to say we need to, honestly, oh God. This is important. This is This is me moving forward on the actual functional. Holy damn, weird. Actual function of the game, the simulator, which is to me going to be the most complex piece of this entire thing. All the stats stuff people think is a big deal. It's not. I mean, that determines what the stats are of your players when they're executing, but it's just numbers: add, subtract, divide, multiply, blah blah blah. Yeah, some of the formulas can get complex. I'm not saying that they're not, but what I'm saying is it's just basic math. It's not layout, project flow, trying to determine how things, the order of calls, none of that stuff. It's just do the math, get the number, be happy camper. That's all it is. And then those numbers are used when they calculate, because really everything you do is going to break down to like 5 things that matter to the actual play execution. And certain things may have an effect in certain situations only. So certain stats or abilities may not affect, you may have like the general play, but then, what's their chances of fumbling and their hands and their their fatigue levels, their fitness levels, all this kind of stuff will have an effect game-wise. But again, there's no flow to that stuff. It just happens during play execution. It looks at these values and does various thingies. But the actual process flow of the game, of how things are being called and what's happening, that's way more complicated, because you've got to get the right flow of things. And ultimately, I think I need, like, for my purposes, see how I have game state. Game state's going to be provided by the processes, but do I pass game state or do I just read game state? I think I'm just reading game state. There's no passing it anywhere. And like the clock is not going to be, none of this. I don't need to manage clocks. I do need to set the game clock. But all this stuff is going to happen on the back end. The entire play processing. I'm a little concerned of how I'm going to do that. I gotta, oh boy, this is the tricky part. So we got, okay. I'm trying to decide what I can just delete, because it's never going to be a thing on here. That's what I'm trying to do. Just like clean it up. So I'm only working with what I need. And I don't want to I want to try to utilize this as is for layout, so I can just swap them out when the time comes. Hold on, I'll be right back.